Hello and welcome. You're watching the Trending Burning Question with me, Shavans. And ladies and gentlemen, abrogation of Article 370 was something that Kashmiri politicians for the longest time was essentially trying to sell, that this is something that is never going to work. In fact, if you remember very correctly, on the very day when this announcement was made by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, there was an attempt that was made by a section that if this actually continues, the rivers of blood will flow. Anything short of this, they also made that claim that perhaps Kashmir is going to be completely out of control. They were going to lose Kashmir. But the reality is completely different, ladies and gentlemen. It has not only been accepted by the Awam, but also the fact that it has essentially led to the prosperity of the valley. Today, it has already been sealed by the Supreme Court, and those very politicians who have been selling the dream of bringing back 370 are now exasperated, frustrated at the very prospect that this could never return. The reality was none other than Farooq Abdullah. Today in the parliament, he made an obnoxious statement when asked about 370. He also went on to say, Jahannum mein jao, the moment question on Article 370 was asked. The reality is this, that somewhere down the line, Kashmiri politicians will have to come to terms with the fact that this was a temporary provision which had to go. It had to go long back, but several political dispensations did not let that happen. Joining us on the Trending Burning Question tonight are Pratyush Kanto, spokesperson of the BJP, and Nikhil Jain, political analyst leaning towards the Congress party, is joining us on this broadcast. Hoping in a short while from now, Ahmed Ayaz is also going to join in a short while from now. Nikhil, if I can come to you, this entire dream that was being sold by a few Kashmiri politicians for a very long time, that 370 is going to come back, and somewhere down the line, those very wishes were being pandered by the Congress politicians too. The reality is this, it's never going to come back. The reality is this, that Kashmir has only benefited after the abrogation of Article 370, and there are multiple yardsticks that I can actually play it out for our viewers to understand why exactly are we arguing that minus 370, Kashmir has seen the kind of prosperity that it hasn't in the past. Nikhil Jain, these very Kashmiri politicians tonight are already exposed, and that is the reason why a frustrated Farooq Abdullah says, Jahannum mein jao.
See, Shavan, what politicians from Kashmir and across the party lines in opposition have been claiming is that Article 370 is a demand of the people of Kashmir. It is not about their personal choices, it's not about their personal beliefs alone, it is about the people of Kashmir. So far as the Supreme Court judgment on the matter is concerned, it is a judgment by a 5-judge bench, so it has attained finality that cannot be questioned, that cannot be changed. But two very important things let me point out for your viewers. A catena of Supreme Court judgments earlier, albeit of smaller benches, as recently as 2018 also have observed and noted that due to the non-existence of a Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Assembly now, Article 370 had acquired a permanent status within the Constitution of India. So even though this bench and this court has held the view that it was a temporary fixture that could have gone away, other benches of the Supreme Court of India have held a divergent view. Secondly, the BJP has been going around saying that Article 370's abrogation is what has brought in prosperity to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, or the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. But the fact of the matter remains that even before the abrogation of Article 370, even before the BJP imposed the President's rule in 2018, if you look at the social indices, Human Development Index, literacy rate, GDP per capita, and all those other indices, Jammu and Kashmir actually fared better than most states in the country. So for them to say that Jammu and Kashmir has suddenly prospered because 370 has been removed is a fallacious argument to make. And also there is no causation correlation. They are merely, even if there has been more development and prosperity, which a lot of independent...
Okay, if you say it's... Okay, Nikhil, you say it's a... You say this entire argument is riddled...
Tourism or would increase the economy.
You say... No.
What is most important...
I'm told that Ahmed Ayaz...
Without a legislative assembly, without public...
No, Nikhil.
Without an elected
Nikhil. Rather than getting into the rhetoric of it... Okay, can I just ask you a simple question then? Nikhil, there's no point hammering this like this. I'm asking you a direct question with regards to, you say that this entire argument is completely flawed, that prosperity that we are seeing post Article 370 being abrogated is absolutely false. It was always better, but the reality is this in terms of numbers. Nikhil, we'll see if Ahmed Ayaz is also joining us or not. But before that, Pratyush, if I can come to you with regards to this entire argument that some within the opposition, and of course the Kashmiri politicians have been saying for the longest time, what has really changed? If that's the question asked to you, what has really changed? I have the numbers with me, Nikhil. I can put it out for you if for your better understanding, but let the BJP spokesperson also respond to this. What has really changed?
There can be no prosperity without peace. And this is what has been brought to Jammu and Kashmir. Even you have lot of figures. I can also give you a lot of figures. But I was listening to Mr. Jain. I want to tell him that fallacious is a very strong word to use here. What has happened in Jammu and Kashmir is that with peace, Jammu and Kashmir has become an integral part of India, where 2 crore people happily go and visit the state. They don't only go to visit the place, they also go and understand what Jammu Kashmir is. For 70 years, there was a wrong which was committed. And Nehru ji started it. Honorable Home Minister on the floor of the House said that it was a wrong thing they had done. Even Nehru accepted that what was wrong. I'm not getting into the history of it. I'm just sticking to your question. Your question is that a state which used to see 54 bandhs sees 0 bandh now. A state which used to see stone pelting in thousands, now it has come, it's almost over now actually. It's coming to the figures. So what is important here? It is important that now more than 890 laws of the center has come to the state. So how many people are getting benefits of the center's projects? Innumerable. So to put it as fallacious, the women, the poor, the children, the youth, 2 lakh youth are now playing sports. Do you think it's a small number? It's a huge number. SC/ST, hospitals, doctors, everything has gone there. So your whole social index is rising. You have to look at a state which was scarred. Abrogation of 370 has changed that. There is an overall growth which is taking place. For Farooq Abdullah and 2-3 families to stay Bhad mein jao, Jahannam mein jao, it pains every Indian. Now Jammu Kashmir is part of our country and so will be POK. It was ours, Indians. We are not only growing economically, we are not only becoming a superpower, we are also imbibing the growth and making Jammu Kashmir an integral part of it.
Okay.
You will see hydroelectricity, roads, name infrastructure, everything is going there. So the development, and you're trying to say that the Muslims...
Nikhil.
So it was separatist. No, sir. It was wrong. No. I'm just taking half a second more. There are more Muslims in Gujarat, UP and Bihar than there in Jammu and Kashmir. So let's be honest, it was a wrong political...
Okay, Nikhil,
which was
I'm not too sure Ahmed Ayaz can hear us or not.
They were the one who's carrying it out.
Okay, Pratyush, you've made your point. Let me also bring in, I'm not sure whether Ahmed Ayaz can hear me, but let me get this question from Nikhil. Nikhil, you've heard the argument that has been put forth by Pratyush. You say that this hasn't... Okay, let me take this question to you, Mr. Ahmed Ayaz. Ahmed Ayaz, Nikhil Jain and Pratyush. Nikhil Jain and Pratyush were basically fighting it off on the merits of 370. But that has been sealed. And Ahmed Ayaz, you have also been in the valley. Would you not concede that things have actually changed in terms of security, in terms of the fact that I'm not saying that it is perhaps the best situation in terms of a scenario for investment, but the reality is things are certainly rolling.
No, as long as changes so far as security scenario is concerned, I don't know how someone can link it with the Article 370. You see, 370 has not given any impetus to the state or the Kashmir in particular in terms of the security scenario or development or any other change. Yes, you can say there is security otherwise tightened, which was otherwise there. Do you think that without this 370 being in place and security operations were not being done? And how do you think then since 1990, the day of onset of the militancy, which was at the peak, and nothing changed up to the taking over by the BJP government in 2004 or with the change of Article 370? Is there anyone who can counter me on this? That from 90 to 2019.
Pratyush, do you want to? Pratyush, Ahmed Ayaz saying, how are you linking it?
Nothing changed on security scenario.
Let the BJP spokesperson Pratyush Kant respond to this. Pratyush, okay, Pratyush, why don't you respond to the fact that they say that things have not changed because you can't really equate. Now, I don't know on what basis is that argument essentially made, but why don't you respond to Ahmed Ayaz?
Sir, I will tell you give you a very small example, but which very painful example. Before 370, there was 199 young boys who took to terrorism. After that, the number came down to 12. Just imagine the change. It speaks volume of the change. That a state which was being fed on terrorism, the youth was being drawn and attracted. Once the 370 went away, the number of those young kids, they took to India, they took to development, they took to other parts of the country. They were meeting tourists. There was a change of ideas, culture, assimilation, India being one, united. These are the big changes, sir. What the government is doing for Jammu and Kashmir after that, even the number of terrorism attacks, for the first time, we started countering those ultra funding of those terrorist attacks, who were funding those. We were able to clamp down on the bottom of terrorism. And that eventually came down to what? A better Kashmir, a happier Jammu Kashmir. This is what we have done. It's a slow process, it's a painful process.
A happier...
But Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Home Minister has monitored it to the T, sir, to the smallest level what was happening, to the micro level. And this micro management today speaks volume of this change. And all of us should have a heart big enough to realize
a quick word to Nikhil. Okay, quick one.
When the children are happy, it's a happier state.
No, I will rebut. I will.
Okay, I'm running out of time.
Okay. 70 Article 370 was there right from the day it was implemented somewhere after 47. And till 1990, there was no stone pelting, though 370 being in place. How do you relate 370, Article 370 with that stone pelting or the militancy? There was no militancy up to 1990. There was no stone pelting up to 1990, though 370 being in place. So you can't. This is a big mistake we are doing.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm really running short of time. Now, it's a debate. It's a never-ending debate. But, you know, Mr. Ayaz, I'm really running short of time. Running short of time. Nikhil, I'm sorry. I have to cut you short here. Mr. Ayaz, I'm sorry I had to cut you short here, but I'm really running out of time right now. But the reality is this, whether you like it or you don't, if you simply go by the numbers, at least as far as security is concerned, and as far as investment in Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, yes, there is a marked change. Will it be accepted or not? For the Awam, it has really worked. Over a period of time, perhaps a better answer comes in. But thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the Trending Burning Question. On the other side, the big debate coming up with Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami.